Welcome back. My name is Sam, and today we are diving deep into the crisis unfolding at Aston Martin. The team is currently in the middle of a nightmare season, but there is a massive development happening behind the scenes. Aston Martin is reportedly abandoning their current car, the AMR26, and building a completely new B-SPEC car to save their season. This is not just a simple upgrade package. This is a fundamental redesign of a car that has gone completely wrong. To understand why a team would take such a drastic and expensive step, we have to look at just how bad things are right now. The 2026 regulations were supposed to be a fresh start for everyone. It is the biggest regulatory reset in a generation, with both the chassis and the power unit rules changing at the same time. Aston Martin brought in Adrian Newey, the most successful designer in Formula One history, to lead their technical department. They partnered with Honda to become a works team, meaning they no longer have to buy engines from Mercedes. Everything was set up for success, but the reality has been a disaster. The AMR26 is currently the slowest car on the grid. They are regularly qualifying behind Cadillac, a team that is in its very first year of Formula One. Fernando Alonso has only managed to finish one race this season, which was in Japan, and the car is currently running between 3 and 4 seconds a lap slower than the leaders. In Formula One, being 3 seconds off the pace means you are not even in the same race as the top teams. The problems with the AMR26 are not just aerodynamic. The car is fundamentally flawed on multiple levels. First, there is the weight issue. The chassis is reportedly overweight by at least 10 kilograms. In Formula One, 10 kilograms of extra weight costs you about 3/10 of a second per lap, just in pure mass. But it is worse than that. Extra weight changes the center of gravity, it forces the suspension to work harder, and it destroys the tires much faster. When you're already lacking downforce, carrying an extra 10 kilograms is a death sentence for your lap time. Then there is the power unit. Honda's new engine is suffering from a severe lack of reliability and power, but the biggest issue is the vibrations. The Honda engine is generating violent vibrations that are shaking the car to pieces. Honda's president, Koji Watanabe, admitted that these vibrations are significantly worse when the engine is integrated into the Aston Martin chassis compared to their dyno testing. This suggests that the way the engine is mounted to the chassis is creating a resonance effect, amplifying the vibrations throughout the entire car. These vibrations are so severe that they are actually dangerous. Adrian Newey recently stated that if they do not fix the vibration issues urgently, the drivers could suffer permanent nerve damage. The car is literally shaking so violently on the straights that Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll cannot even run a full race distance without the car breaking down or becoming undrivable. The gearbox, which is a stressed member of the chassis, is taking a massive beating from these vibrations, leading to multiple failures. Alonso has not held back his frustration. After the Monaco Grand Prix, he slammed the current generation of cars, calling them the worst he has ever driven in Monaco. He specifically criticized the hybrid systems and the way the cars have to harvest energy. The electrical part of the engine produces nearly 50% of the total power. To keep the battery charged, drivers have to lift off the throttle in the middle of the straights and coast into the corners. Alonso said that this creates massive inconsistency in the engine braking, making the car unpredictable. He went as far as saying that hybrid cars should not be racing. When a two-time world champion is calling your car dangerous and undrivable, you know you have a massive problem. This is why Aston Martin is taking the extreme step of building a B-SPEC car. You cannot fix these kinds of fundamental flaws. The entire concept of the car needs to be rethought. When Adrian Newey designed the AMR26, he went for a very aggressive, extreme concept. The car features a radical size zero side pod design and an extreme double floor. The idea was to minimize drag as much as possible for the new regulations, which place a heavy emphasis on aerodynamic efficiency. The side pods are incredibly tightly packaged around the engine, creating a massive undercut to feed air to the rear of the car. But it seems that in the pursuit of aerodynamic efficiency, they compromised the mechanical platform of the car. By packaging the side pods so tightly, they left very little room for cooling, which might be contributing to the Honda engine's reliability issues. Furthermore, the extreme double floor design requires the car to run incredibly low to the ground to generate downforce. But because the car is overweight and suffering from engine vibrations, they likely have to run the suspension stiffer and higher than intended, which completely ruins the aerodynamics of the floor. It is a vicious cycle. The mechanical problems ruin the aerodynamics, and the extreme aerodynamics make the mechanical problems worse. The new B-SPEC car, which is being called the AMR26B, is expected to be a complete overhaul. The team is reportedly targeting a massive weight reduction program to shed those excess 10 kilograms. This will involve redesigning the chassis and using lighter materials wherever possible. They are also planning a significant aerodynamic redesign, which will likely mean abandoning the extreme size Zero side pods. We can expect to see a more conventional side pod shape, similar to what Red Bull or McLaren are running, which will provide better cooling for the Honda engine and create a more stable aerodynamic platform. There are also rumours that the B-SPEC car will feature an all-new suspension system. This is crucial because the suspension is what connects the aerodynamics to the mechanical grip of the tyres. If they can design a suspension that better absorbs the engine vibrations and provides a more stable platform for the floor, they might be able to unlock the potential that Newey originally saw in the wind tunnel. The front suspension on the current car is actually quite innovative, but the rear suspension needs a complete rethink to handle the Honda power unit. The target for this B-SPEC car is incredibly ambitious. Reports suggest that Aston Martin is aiming for a lap time gain of up to 2 seconds. In Formula 1 terms, 2 seconds is an eternity. It is the difference between being last on the grid and fighting for podiums. Finding 2 seconds in the middle of a season is almost unheard of, but because the current car is so far off the pace, there is a lot of low-hanging fruit to be picked. But when will we actually see this new car? According to Sky Sports commentator David Croft, the original plan was to introduce the AMR26B at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone in July. Silverstone is Aston Martin's home race, as their factory is located right across the street from the circuit. It would be the perfect place to launch a comeback. However, Croft noted that the timeline might slip and the car could be delayed until the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps, which is a couple of weeks later. Building a B-SPEC car in the middle of a season under the cost cap is an incredibly difficult task. It requires diverting resources away from normal development and essentially running 2 parallel design programs. It means that the wind tunnel time and CFD allocation that should be used to develop the car for the rest of the year is instead being used to fix the mistakes of the winter. It is a massive gamble by team owner Lawrence Stroll, but it is a gamble they have to take. And this crisis has also led to a shake-up in the team's management. Adrian Newey, who was appointed as the team principal late last year, is reportedly stepping down from that role. Newey never really wanted to be a team principal. His passion is designing cars. He took the role to fill a gap after Andy Cowell was moved aside, but now that the team is in crisis mode, Newey needs to focus 100% of his time on fixing the car. Aston Martin is currently searching for a new team principal, with Audi's Jonathan Wheatley reportedly at the top of their list. Wheatley has years of experience running the race team at Red Bull, and he is exactly the kind of trackside leader Aston Martin needs right now. The reality for Aston Martin is that the road back to the front is going to be long and painful. Even if the B-SPEC car is a massive improvement and they find those 2 seconds of lap time, they are still relying on Honda to fix the power unit. They will bring updates after the summer break, perhaps around the time the B-SPEC car arrives, but the fundamental architecture of the engine will take time to fix. The vibrations need to be engineered out of the block, and that is not something you can do in a few weeks. For now, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll just have to survive. They have to drive a car that is overweight, underpowered, and vibrating so violently that it is physically painful to drive. They have to deal with the frustration of lifting and coasting on the straights while the cars behind them fly past. The AMR26B cannot come soon enough for Aston Martin, but until it arrives, it is going to be a very long summer for the team in green. What do you think about Aston Martin's situation? Can a B-SPEC car really find 2 seconds of lap time, or is this season already a write-off? And do you think Honda can fix their engine issues before 2027? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the technical side of Formula 1, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I am Sam, and I will see you in the next video.